Ethan Morello, a reclusive millionaire known for his cold attitude and flawless business record, lived in a mansion so grand that even silence echoed inside it. Yet behind the golden walls and marble floors, there existed a grief so heavy that no amount of wealth could hide it. His 3-year-old daughter, Lily, once warm, chubby-cheeked, and full of laughter, had stopped eating for nearly 2 weeks. She rejected every bottle, every spoon, every attempt from doctors, specialists, nutritionists, everyone. She had grown so frail that her wrists were thinner than twigs. Her eyes, once bright as sunlight, now looked like dim, tired moons. And her father, despite his power, despite his connections, despite the entire world at his fingertips, was helpless. Ever since Lily's mother passed away in a tragic car accident 9 months earlier, the little girl had collapsed into a silent shell of fear and grief. Ethan blamed himself. He worked late that night. She had gone to pick him up. Then, the crash. From that day onward, Lily stopped speaking for weeks and slowly began refusing food altogether. Ethan hired and fired over 10 maids, not because they were bad, but because Lily wouldn't let any stranger come near her. She screamed, panicked, and cried at the sight of anyone except her father. The mansion staff whispered among themselves that the little girl had emotionally shut down, and the father was losing himself too. Enter Anna, a quiet, soft-spoken woman in her 20s, who applied for the maid position out of desperation. She was not a professional nanny. She didn't have medical training. But she carried warmth in her eyes, a softness in her voice, and a gentleness that couldn't be taught. When she arrived at the mansion for the interview, she expected to be turned away immediately. After all, Ethan Morello was known to hire only people with exceptional credentials. But when he saw the sincerity in her gaze, something inside him told him to give her a chance. Her very first day, the entire mansion whispered, "Let's see how long this one lasts." Anna entered Lily's room slowly, making sure not to startle the child. The curtains were drawn, the lights dim, and a tiny figure sat curled in a corner clutching a photo of her mother. Lily's golden hair was tangled, and her dress looked loose on her small, fragile frame. Anna didn't speak. She didn't force herself on the child. Instead, she quietly sat on the other side of the room and took out a small wooden puppet from her bag, a little bunny with floppy ears. She placed it gently on the floor, made it hop once, and whispered in the softest voice, "Bunny is a little shy, just like me." Lily looked up through her messy hair, curious for just a second. It was the first spark of attention she had shown in days. Anna didn't push further. She simply let the puppet hop around on the carpet, hum a funny little tune, and pretend to bump into the wall. She even made it fall and cry, "Ouch. I fell on my tail. Lily, do you know where my tail is?" Lily didn't answer, but her shoulders relaxed. Anna came back every day at the same time. She never forced Lily to eat. Never forced conversation. Never tried to replace her mother's memory. Instead, she gave the child something she had lost, gentle attention without demand. After 4 days, Lily crawled an inch closer during puppet time. On the 6th day, she reached out and touched the bunny's ear. On the 8th day, she whispered her first word in months, "More." Anna's eyes filled with tears she hid behind a smile. She made the puppet dance across the room until Lily giggled, a sound no one in the mansion had heard since her mother passed. Meanwhile, Ethan observed quietly from outside the door each day. Seeing his daughter respond, smile, was something he thought he'd never witness again. But despite this progress, Lily still refused food. Doctors warned Ethan that the child's body was growing weaker. By day 12, the situation became critical. The morning of the 13th day, Anna walked into the kitchen at dawn, searching through the cabinets until she found what she needed: plain bread, a little honey, and warm milk. Ethan saw her preparing the meal and said sharply, "She won't eat. I've tried everything." Anna simply responded, "Not like this." She entered Lily's room holding a small plate, but before offering any food, she sat on the floor again and took out the puppet. "Bunny is hungry today," she whispered playfully. "But he's scared, he doesn't want to eat alone." Lily watched, expression serious. Anna broke off a tiny corner of the bread and pretended to feed the bunny. Bunny wants to share. Do you want to help him?" Lily looked down, then slowly reached forward. She took the smallest crumb between her fingers. Everyone held their breath. She lifted it, but instead of eating it, she gently fed the puppet. Anna didn't panic. She smiled. Bunny says thank you, but he wants you to be strong too. Lily hesitated. Her lip trembled. Her tiny hand shook. Then, she placed the crumb in her mouth. Anna didn't cheer, didn't shout. She simply whispered, "Good girl." Outside the door, Ethan gasped in disbelief, tears blurring his vision. Lily chewed slowly, swallowed, and without looking up said, "More." Anna fed her softly, tiny bits at a time, until Lily finished almost half the bread. The mansion erupted into quiet, emotional disbelief. Days turned into weeks, and Lily's appetite gradually returned. She allowed Anna to brush her hair, help her get dressed, and even accompany her to the garden. One evening, as Anna tucked the child into bed, Lily whispered, "Will you leave, like Mommy?" Anna's heart broke. She held Lily's hand and said, "No. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Ethan, who had been standing outside the doorway, felt something shift inside him, gratitude, admiration, and a kind of hope he thought he'd never feel again. That night, Ethan asked Anna to join him in the study. He thanked her, not as an employer but as a father who had been drowning in guilt and grief. Anna simply replied, Lily didn't need a maid. She needed someone who saw her heart, not her pain. Over the next months, the mansion slowly transformed from a place of sorrow into a home. Lily laughed again, played again, lived again. And Ethan realized that no amount of wealth could have ever bought what Anna had given his daughter, healing. One afternoon, as the three of them sat at the dining table, Lily munching happily on her food, Ethan whispered to Anna, "You didn't just feed my daughter, you saved her." And for the first time in years, the mansion felt complete. As Lily giggled and fed crumbs to her bunny puppet, Ethan looked at Anna with a gratitude deeper than words, grateful that the impossible had finally happened. And to the viewers listening to this story right now, if you believe in second chances, in healing, in kindness, and in the power of a single heart to change a life, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Your support helps bring more emotional, meaningful stories like this to life. Subscribe, like, and stay connected for more heart-touching stories.